Hi, this is video A4. There's one last concept I want to talk about, and so I'm just going to make up a problem right now. Let me see which example. I think this is example 7. So, what if I ask you to graph y equals negative 2 0.8 to the x? Okay, so one thing I'd want you to clearly notice is that if we cover this part up, there's the exponential function. Okay, these are transformations. Okay, the negative, since it's on the outside, would be a vertical reflection. The 2 is multiplied on the outside, so this must be a vertical stretch. Okay, and before I graph it, I want to ask myself, is this going to be growth or decay? Remember, the only thing we look at is this multiplier right here, the base of the exponent, the base of the power, which is 0.8 less than 1, so this must be decay. Now, before, when we saw a decay graph, it was going down like that, but clearly these will change that. But that's okay. What I want you to do on the homework tonight is I want you to make a table, and I would love for you to practice making a table on your graphing calculators. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I want to go ahead and enter negative 2.8 to the x power. And to see the table, let's go ahead and choose x equals 0, 1, 2, negative 1, and negative 2. To see that table on here, first I want to set the table. And remember, the table set function is right above window, so you hit second window. Okay, and it's set up for me already. I think the default is usually a 0 right here. Okay, make sure these are both on auto, so the x and the y values will fill in automatically. But since I'm starting, my lowest y value or x value is a negative 2, I'm going to start the table at that negative 2. Okay, and then to see the table, we hit second graph, the table function's right above there. And there they are. There are the values that I'm about to graph. So when x is negative 2, I get negative 3.125. When x is negative 1, I get negative 2.5. When x is 0, I get negative 2. When x is 1, I get negative 1.6. And finally, when x is 2, I have y equals negative 1.28. So I can remove this now. On the homework, it's a little frustrating because they give you these huge increments and you have to graph these relatively small values. So let's go ahead and practice that. Let's say my graph has these as my x values, but then for whatever reason, my y's are marked off by 5s. It's perfectly fine. We can still graph this. And we're just plotting these points approximately. So I'll start in the middle, 0, negative 2, about right there. 1, negative 1.6, so 1, negative 1.6, 2, negative 1.28, and then when I go to the left, negative 1, negative 2.5, and finally, negative 2, negative 3.125. And it's hard to see what's going on, but would I ever actually hit the x-axis? Is there any way this would ever equal 0? Well, this part can't equal 0. So no, it never would. That must still be the asymptote. Okay, so for your homework tonight, I want you to go to the website like you always have, find worksheet 7.1b. And in a few seconds here, I'll show you the worked out solutions. Just go ahead and do what we did on this lesson today. And here are the worked out solutions. There's the top half, and there's the bottom half.